Sometimes people take advantage of others without them even realizing it. It can happen in friendships, work relationships, or even within families. These situations are often hard to notice at first because they don't always seem obvious. But over time, the patterns become clearer, and you start to feel drained or unappreciated. Recognizing the signs early can save you from stress and emotional pain. It helps you protect your time, energy, and self-respect. But how can you tell when someone is using you? What should you look out for? There are small behaviors and patterns that often go unnoticed until it's too late. This video will highlight these signs, helping you understand when a relationship isn't balanced. Pay attention, because these are the moments that could change how you see certain people in your life. Have you ever felt like someone in your life might be taking advantage of you? Maybe they only call when they need something or never seem to value your time and effort. It's a tough feeling, isn't it? Share your experiences in the comments below. Have you ever noticed these signs in a relationship? How did you handle it? Your story might help someone else going through the same thing. Some people only talk to you when they need something. This is called selective communication. They won't message you to check on you or share something meaningful, but the moment they have a problem, they're quick to reach out. It might feel like they're only interested in what you can do for them, not in you as a person. For example, they might often ask for money, rides, or favors. Maybe they call you because they need help with their work or personal issues. At first, you may think they trust you and value your advice, but when you notice that these conversations only happen when they need something, it starts to feel unfair. They disappear as soon as their issue is resolved, leaving no room for mutual support or real connection. Another common pattern is constant requests for help with their problems. This could be emotional support, fixing their mistakes, or even solving issues they created themselves. While helping friends or loved ones is normal, it becomes a problem when it's one-sided. They might not be there for you when you need the same kind of support. Instead, they might ignore you, change the topic, or make excuses. Over time, this kind of relationship can feel draining and unbalanced. Selective communication creates an emergency-only relationship. This means you're only important to them when they have a problem. It can make you feel used and unappreciated. Instead of feeling like a friend or equal, you may feel like a backup plan or a tool to fix their issues. This kind of behavior is hard to deal with because it might feel like you're being kind by always helping. But in reality, it's important to recognize when someone's interest in you is based only on their needs. Another sign that someone might be taking advantage of you is when they show zero investment in the relationship. They never make an effort to maintain the connection or contribute in any meaningful way. It can feel like all the responsibility falls on you, leaving the relationship one-sided and exhausting. For example, they never initiate plans. You're always the one calling, texting, or suggesting to meet up. If you don't make the effort, there's silence. It's as if the relationship only exists because you're keeping it alive. Over time, this can feel frustrating because relationships are supposed to involve mutual effort. Another behavior is letting conversations die. You may reach out with a text or a question, but their responses are short or disinterested. They don't try to keep the conversation going or ask about your life. It feels like they're not interested in building a meaningful connection, even when you put in the effort. They also put minimal effort into maintaining the bond. They might forget important things like your birthday or achievements. They don't check in when you're going through tough times, and they rarely show care or appreciation. Instead, they let the relationship run on autopilot, depending entirely on your effort. This lack of investment creates a one-sided dynamic. You're left doing all the work while they give little or nothing in return. This can feel draining because it's not fair to always be the one trying. Relationships should feel balanced, with both people caring and contributing equally. When someone puts in no effort, it shows they don't value the relationship as much as you do. This can leave you feeling unimportant, even if you've done everything to keep things going. Recognizing this pattern is important, so you don't waste your energy on someone who isn't willing to meet you halfway. Emotional manipulation is another clear sign that someone might be taking advantage of you. This happens when they use guilt to control your actions or make you feel responsible for their happiness. Instead of communicating openly and honestly, they play on your emotions to get what they want. For example, they might say things like, "I thought you cared about me." This statement is designed to make you feel guilty for not doing what they want. It shifts the focus away from their unreasonable demands and puts the pressure on you to prove your care and loyalty. Another common phrase is, "If you don't help me, who will?" This creates a false sense of urgency, making you feel like you're their only option. Even if their request is unfair or impossible, they frame it in a way that makes you feel obligated to say yes. Over time, these tactics can leave you feeling trapped and emotionally drained. This kind of behavior creates an unhealthy sense of obligation. You start doing things not because you want to, but because you feel guilty if you don't. It becomes hard to say no, even when you know their requests are unreasonable. This imbalance takes a toll on your mental and emotional well-being. Emotional manipulation can also make you question your own boundaries. You might find yourself wondering if you're being selfish or uncaring for wanting to say no. This confusion keeps you in the cycle, giving them more control over your actions. Recognizing these tactics is essential for protecting your self-respect and emotional health. Conditional charm is another sign that someone may be taking advantage of you. This happens when a person is suddenly extra friendly or affectionate, but only when they need something from you. Their behavior seems warm and caring at first, but it quickly changes once they've gotten what they want. For example, they might shower you with excessive compliments or attention right before making a request. They could say things like, "You're so amazing at solving problems," or "I don't know what I'd do without you." While these words might sound genuine, their timing often reveals their true intention to make you feel appreciated just long enough to say yes to their request. Another clear sign is the quick personality switch that happens after they get what they want. Once you've agreed to help or given them what they need, their warmth disappears. They may go back to being distant or even dismissive. It becomes clear that their kindness was not genuine, but a way to manipulate you into doing something for them. This behavior creates a manipulative pattern of false affection. It plays with your emotions, making you feel valued only when it benefits them. Over time, this can leave you questioning their sincerity and your own judgment. It's especially hurtful because it pretends to be caring when, in reality, it's just a tactic to get their way. Conditional charm undermines trust in a relationship. When someone's kindness is only tied to their needs, it shows they aren't truly invested in the relationship. Recognizing this pattern helps you see the difference between genuine affection and manipulation, disguised as kindness. A surface-level connection is another sign that someone may not value the relationship as much as you do. This happens when they avoid meaningful conversations and keep the relationship shallow. It feels like they're not interested in knowing you on a deeper level or building a genuine emotional bond. For instance, they often deflect personal topics. When you try to open up about your feelings or experiences, they might change the subject, give vague responses, or steer the conversation back to themselves. It feels like they're avoiding getting too close or showing real interest in your life. They also keep interactions superficial. Conversations stay focused on casual topics, like everyday small talk or surface-level updates. While this is fine occasionally, it becomes a problem when it's the only type of interaction you have. There's no effort to discuss meaningful issues, share dreams, or talk about struggles. Another example is their disinterest in your feelings and goals. They rarely ask how you're truly doing or celebrate your achievements. When you talk about your ambitions or challenges, they might seem distracted or dismissive. Their lack of engagement makes it clear that they don't prioritize understanding or supporting you. This kind of behavior prevents a genuine emotional connection. Relationships thrive on trust, vulnerability, and mutual care, but a surface-level connection lacks these essential elements. Instead, it feels one-sided, where you're willing to open up, but they're not. Over time, this can leave you feeling isolated and undervalued, even in their presence. Recognizing this pattern is important for identifying relationships that aren't fulfilling or balanced. A real connection should feel meaningful, with both people invested in knowing and supporting each other beyond surface-level interactions. Success sabotage is another clear sign of someone taking advantage of you. This happens when they fail to support your achievements and instead react in ways that minimize or overshadow your progress. Rather than celebrating with you, their actions or words leave you feeling unappreciated or even guilty for your success. For example, they might dismiss your good news. If you share an accomplishment, they might respond with indifference, saying something like, "That's not a big deal," or quickly changing the subject. This lack of enthusiasm can make you feel like your hard work and success don't matter. Another common behavior is making your success about them. Instead of congratulating you, they might say things like, "I could have done that too if I had the same chance," or "Must be nice to have it so easy." These statements shift the focus away from your achievement and onto their own feelings, undermining your moment of pride. They might also show irritation or jealousy at your progress. You might notice subtle signs like sarcastic comments or an obvious lack of encouragement. In some cases, they might even discourage you from pursuing further growth, suggesting it's not worth the effort or that it might hurt your relationship with them. This behavior undermines your confidence and growth. Achievements should feel empowering and rewarding, but their lack of support can leave you doubting yourself or feeling like you need to downplay your success to keep the peace. Over time, this can hold you back from reaching your full potential and recognizing your worth. Support and encouragement are key elements of any healthy relationship. When someone consistently fails to celebrate your achievements, or worse, tries to sabotage them, it's a sign that the relationship may be more harmful than helpful. Boundary resistance is a clear sign that someone may not respect you or your limits. This happens when a person reacts negatively to your efforts to set boundaries or assert your needs. Instead of understanding or accepting your limits, they push back, making you feel guilty or wrong for standing up for yourself. For example, they might get angry when you say no. Whether it's refusing a favor, declining an invitation, or expressing your own priorities, their reaction is often frustration or irritation. They might accuse you of being selfish or uncaring, even when your decision is completely reasonable. Another sign is their habit of pushing back against reasonable boundaries. If you've told them you need time for yourself, or you've set a clear limit on something, they might ignore it, test it, or pressure you to change your mind. Instead of respecting what you've said, they act as though your boundaries are negotiable. Emotional manipulation is also common when they're denied something they want. They may say things like, "I thought you cared about me," or "You're the only one who can help me." These statements are designed to make you feel guilty and force you to give in. Over time, this behavior can wear you down and make you feel like your boundaries don't matter. This resistance shows a lack of respect for your needs and feelings. Healthy relationships involve mutual understanding and the ability to respect each other's limits. When someone consistently ignores or fights against your boundaries, it creates an unbalanced dynamic where their needs are prioritized over yours. Recognizing this pattern is essential for maintaining your self-respect and emotional well-being. Boundaries are not selfish. They're necessary for healthy and respectful relationships. Someone who truly values you will understand and honor them rather than resist or manipulate them. Fairweather friends are people who only stick around when things are going well for you. When life gets tough and you need support, they're suddenly unavailable. This type of behavior is a sign of relationship inequality because it shows they're only there for their convenience, not for a true connection. For instance, they might make excuses when you need support. If you reach out during a challenging time, they might say they're busy or come up with reasons why they can't help. While everyone has their limits, their consistent pattern of avoiding you during hard times can feel dismissive and hurtful. Another common behavior is disappearing during your struggles. When you're going through something difficult, they might stop responding to messages or avoid interacting with you altogether. Instead of offering comfort or help, they distance themselves, leaving you to face your challenges alone. They also tend to be too busy for your problems. While they might have plenty of time for their own issues or fun activities, they never seem to have time when you need a shoulder to lean on. This selective availability highlights how little effort they're willing to put into the relationship when it's not convenient for them. This behavior demonstrates relationship inequality. A real friend or partner doesn't vanish when things get tough. They're there to support you, just as you would be for them. Fairweather friends, however, make it clear that they're only interested in the easy parts of a relationship, not the moments that require care and effort. Recognizing this pattern is important because a one-sided relationship can leave you feeling lonely and unvalued. True connections are built on mutual support, especially during difficult times. Someone who isn't willing to stand by you when you need them may not deserve a place in your life. Recognizing these signs is crucial for protecting yourself from one-sided relationships. When someone consistently shows signs of taking advantage of you, whether it's through selective communication, zero investment, emotional manipulation, or any other behavior, it's a clear indication that the relationship may not be as healthy as it should be. Understanding these patterns can help you make better decisions about who you allow in your life and how much energy you give to certain connections. Take some time to evaluate the relationships in your life. Are they balanced and supportive, or do they leave you feeling drained and undervalued? It's important to surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries, celebrate your successes, and are there for you when you need them. Prioritize relationships that are built on mutual respect, trust, and support. These are the connections that will bring positivity and growth into your life, while the ones that take advantage of you only hold you back. Don't be afraid to make changes if necessary. Your well-being should always come first.